That was early September.
Early September?
Early September. That means about the 9th. The Commissioner for Environment had to come in. And because we were also proactive, we thought it would not come to this level. We even set up a flood management committee. That means to try to reallocate people within the community. We did that, but by the end of September, all flooded. So this house was supposed to be Camp 2. That means people were living upstairs. There were 17 families on top.
17
families. The other upstairs partly completed. That one also had a number of persons. So we had 6 camps, 2 on top the sand dump where they are now removing sand. That is where we were. And somehow we managed ourselves. Government brought in relief materials, quite okay. And we were concerned with the medical implications, the water, this. So as a community, we did everything possible to make sure that the adverse effects are controlled. And then what we did that of all the communities, by 19th of October, we had documented the level of damage to person, to community property, to government property. That means even government projects like water projects, and the rest of them we document and we even presented. And it's an honor and privilege to present to you a document of the totality of the flood disaster in the community, houses affected, individuals affected, corporate bodies affected, and we even went as far as suggestions to government as the flood is going down. What do we do as a people to manage so that people can quickly adjust? Those were all recommendations we made to government,
very good.
It will be handy for a detailed information. We are grateful for your visit.
Good, thank you. Because people have been asking us how many people were affected. And this is the most comprehensive document I've seen yet. This is very, very good. But tell me, you said there were 17 families upstairs?
Yes.
How many people was this?
Okay. What happened was that we tried as much as possible to encourage some of the children to move to urban centers. So for adults, this house was 32 persons. The other one was 44. Then the other one was 42. Then on top the sand dump, it was 62. We even moved the youth corps, National Youth Service Corps members that were on campus. We moved them to Kayama to accommodate our community persons, and it is only after this flood that we have to resettle these community persons, and they are all moving. Then the other camp, we had about 31. Then if you go into the town, there is a jetty, landing jetty. That jetty became a collection center for about 52 people. That's where they cook, that's where they lived throughout.
They were living on top of the jetty?
Yes, because people, canopies, tents, and all were used as a way. If I bring a picture of this very house, we have made this road, it's from Kenu. We paddle from here to the main road. That is what we were doing, and boats will be anchored here.
And how did you manage for water?
Yes, what really happened was that for water, we told the local government council that there is need for them to supply us good water. So occasionally they were bringing sachets of pure water to the community. Beyond that, at individual level too, we also went out to Kayama and bought water, because we're very concerned that if there was going to be a serious problem, it was going to be the contamination. And like all our boreholes were knocked out. So even when the flood ended, we insisted no ball should be used until we flush, and so far we are flushed to in the community, and those are the ones that are now serving as a source of.
And what did you do for water for bathing?
For taking
your bath?
We had an health education for the community. That means we invited medical experts from Yenegua, and they came to talk to us during the flood and advise what we should do: boil the water, water guard, use it. So as a community, we're really organized for the eventuality. So in as much as we're fetching water from the river, because we have been through this health education as regards we know once we boil, it can help us out. So that was our.
And what do you use for fuel for boiling the water and for cooking?
Kerosene we used. There is a son of this soil, one commissioner provided some funds, and we used that funds to buy kerosene for.
Okay. And then you had to bring it in by canoe.
Yes, that was actually.
And as well as the foodstuffs.
Yes. The level of damage, of course, the plantain farm, the cassava, all were knocked out. So we're more dependent on those relief materials that came.
And what has happened now?
At the end of the flood, we made, as I said, some suggestions that we needed to start all over life. And one way of starting was to make people quickly adjust to provision of fishing gears, these are nets for men so that they can now go on fishing, and then rushing in seedlings and the rest of them, because even the cassava stems are not even there. So we have this, but we made these suggestions, but government promised that they will act accordingly, but so far nothing has happened in that.
So what crops were still in the ground at the time of the flood? Had you harvest these things?
No, the cassava we had not harvested. Cassava was still on ground. Plantain, banana, fish ponds. Even at the back of my house, I had 5 fish ponds. All were knocked out. We lost them to the flood. And for the banana, because it does not survive for long underwater. So in this area, even getting banana sucker or plantain sucker to plant is even a problem. It has to come from outside. So there is nothing as far as crops that were saved. No, they were totally.
So the entire harvest was lost?
Lost. Because we have been using 1969 as the peak of flood in this part, and it never came to this point. We thank God.
Let me clarify this. Previous to this, the highest flood level had been 1969. And how high did it get there?
By 69, there were still portions of land that were still available in the community, that in the evening people could gather, assemble. So it was not this all. There was not one single portion of land, this one. So we have always been saying 69, 69. So this one went beyond our imagination.
So some of you read this in the paper, but did anyone actually come to the community to warn you of what was going to happen?
No.
Camps?
Yes.
Were there any camps set up by the government?
The government set up a camp in Kayama, the local government headquarters. And initially, to be sincere, they said 2 communities in Bayelsa state were directed to move, to evacuate. Sampou and Biseni in the local government area. What they said was that OD and Sampou should move to Kayama, while Biseni should move to Yenagwa, the state capital. At the time those instructions were being given, part of Yenagwa that finally got flooded had not been flooded. There were some who even went from here to Yenagwa only for that part of Yenagwa to be flooded and not to come back. There are even people in this town who moved 3 times from one house to the other. So when this evacuation order came, we reasoned, we went to the camp. Yes, about 42 persons from this community were even in the camp in Kayama. But we also saw the psychological part of some of the problems, and we felt that staying together, sharing our problems together, encouraging ourselves tends to lighten our spirits. And that's in a way made it as if we were part of a drama. Yes, turning a very difficult, stressful situation to as if we're all acting a drama. So the health strain, the psychological pressure was somehow reduced, and that is why we organize ourselves. We reason with the local government officials and say, many will remain here, because for one, security. We have to stay and take care of the security needs. Not only that, we want to be seeing our sharing our suffering together. If we do it that way, it will at least reduce the traumatic effect of the flood. So it was in comradeship, let us suffer and let us endure. That is why even if the camp was there, only a fraction of the community, a few persons went there.
Okay, so the water has receded now.
Yes.
How long ago did the water disappear from this area?
The first drop we noticed was 13th of October. 13th of October.
Okay.
When it started, normally by our experience over the years, first we will ask people who are coming from Onitsha if there is a drop, then we allow for 1 week plus, then we know that we'll also start noticing the drop. But this year, when even we had the information that there was drop in Lokoja, it did not within the 1 week. So it took some time, but when it started by that 13th October, it was very slow. But gradually, but at the end of October, there was rapidity. And as it came, so it went. So that when you come and you say, it's okay, maybe tomorrow my house will be ready for me to clean up, by the time the next morning, the water has disappeared. So there was the receding was also very rapid, especially towards the end, and that is how.
But it was basically 5 weeks
Yes.
that the area was flooded.
Yes.
Until the water started to go down. So when did people resume their own houses? For the end of October?
Yes.
It's about 3 weeks ago.
And I would say 2 weeks, more than a week, cleaning, and especially for semi-permanent buildings. You go in town, you will see that people are still working to make those accommodations habitable, because the water destroyed that group of houses. Zinc top, mud bottom. I mean, they could not stop their hands. So people have been working. Even yesterday we had general sanitation in this community. Sampou citizens who are in Niger all came down. That means let us get involved, identify certain places that we still need to mop up, and the rest of them. We know that the process is still on. The cleaning exercise is still on, because it is something that it can't just be over in a week. So the process is still on.
But your community activity and proactive nature is remarkable, because many people would sit back and wait for government or someone else to take care of this. Why do you think Sampou is unique in this way?
By the leadership of this community felt that the level of destruction is such that governments may even find it difficult to solve the problem. And we did not wait for government, because where do they start from? What is the facts on the ground? How do they go about? What is going to be given to an individual and the rest of them? So please let us as a people. And we have also come to realize that once a leadership in the community is firm and giving advice, people will always follow. So there was no objection, and people just worked. And that is why when we went for the local government meeting, the chairman had to make special recommendation about the way in which the community went about documenting.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that the document which you prepared on the level of destruction and even the affected people, etc., is remarkable. I've never seen anything like this before. Here we have documented. How many people do we have?
900, but it should be
959
that
people.
is individuals. That is outside the small children. That means we are talking about adults.
Okay, so effectively you have about 959 adults
yes,
in this community.
Yes.
And how many children? What would be the total population?
The total population is close to 5,000. Why? That means we have stranger elements. That means we are also here, and we are close to 5,000 there.
Okay, interesting. And very good that your indigents who are living outside came home to assist in the exercise.
Yes.
What do you think are the long-term effects of the flood on your community? The water has gone down, people are coming home again, but what are the long-term effects?
One problem is how to generate income. Mm-hmm. Why? Because you take a look at your source of income: plantain, cassava, banana, fishing. These are the basic. And then in between, during the flood season, the crayfish and others will join. But we now know there is a fear. Even when plantain suckers are available, people are reluctant, saying they will not, because they are not sure that next year we will not run into this problem, because there has been a forecast that next year the water level will still be high, not as high as this one. Then if it's high as this one, why do you have to now go and farm? So there is a problem of our people, so that our thinking is that there has to be a change now. Instead of these long time crops, it has to be short duration crops like okra, pepper. Those are ones that within 3, 4, 5 months, cassava. So we as a community, we have even tried to organize ourselves and to see that our attitudes to change now towards short duration crops. If we do that, we will do that. So I know that for the next 6 months, there is going to be a strain on many persons in the community in terms of feeding, in terms of income. We are hoping that if we quickly adjust to some of these our thoughts, then we will save ourselves. Then the other part of it is the medical needs, the matters arising thereafter. We realized that in 1969, after the flood, the following year, there was an outbreak of cholera, and many persons died, even in this community. And we have been worried. And that is why we have emphasized to government at all times to be concerned about the health needs of the community. Agree the level of, the availability of good water and the rest of them better now compared to 1969. But even then, we need to be very conscious of some of these medical issues that will there arise. So we are hoping that if the health center, which closed down because it was overflooded, if it functions quickly and with added facilities and the rest of them, it may help solve some of these our likely fallouts from the health.
Has the health center been reestablished?
They have not. It has not started functioning.
Why not?
They just cleaned it up last week.
Okay.
They just cleaned it up.
Who cleaned it?
The workers.
Okay, in the health center.
Yes, and then there were some members of the community also assisted them to clean it.
And what about medicines and things like this?
No, there has been no restocking because the water destroyed everything.
Who are your health personnel in your center here? Is there a doctor? Are there nurses?
We have nurses. There is no medical doctor. We have nurses, community health assistants, and the rest of them.
So they are on ground?
Majority of them are in neighboring communities, and they just come and walk and go back. So for now, there is really nobody on ground.
Okay. But you have been able to resuscitate your boreholes.
Yes.
So you have portable water at this stage.
Yes.
Okay.
We had 7 boreholes. So far, we have flushed 2. So 2 are functioning now.
Oh. What about the other 5?
The other 5, 2 are government projects. And as individuals, we have no right to start off those projects. So we have to wait on government. That is the type of things we documented to tell them that even from the government perspective, these things are affected. So it is left for government also to react. But from the individual point of view, we will not wait for government. We will do things and allow people from the community to start using the water.
So out of the 7 boreholes, 2 are government. And where did the other 5 come from?
The other 5 are individuals.
Individuals. And do they then sell water to the community?
No, for this community, it is our policy. We never sell water.
Okay.
So we felt we are water people, and it is improper for a man who has so much water even if the water is so we don't. And that is even we have corpus national use of corpus. They were about 42 with us. No, we make sure that they get water. We don't
You
say
have
water.
42 corpers
Yes.
in this community.
In the community, the number has come down to 31 because some of them have gone. So just immediately after the sand dump, that accommodation on the right is where the coppers stay. At a point, 7 of them were even staying with me in this house.
Along with 30 other people. Okay, very interesting. Thank you very much for taking the time to explain it, and particularly for preparing this document. I have been trying to draw attention of the international community to the problem here because there's been almost no coverage in the Western press. The US, the UK, they say they know nothing about this flood. So I've been trying to get some interest and to see what can be done about bringing in some outside assistance, and also from the government itself, both at the federal and state levels. So this will be very useful. I wish that every community had a document like this.
They told the local government, about 19 communities are involved in this AWLG, and I know that in the meeting they were told that let people use this format to quickly assemble the documents. Whether they have assembled that, I don't know, but I know that the directive was given that people should assemble. Because at the end of the day, questions will be asked, how many were affected, this and that. You need not say, oh, we were flooded, no, let the facts be there. Even if somebody wants to verify, that is what we told them. It is easy, you come into Sampou community and you see a name and you don't know who has this house. We attach you to say this is the house, so there should be no problem.
I think we'll try to find out from the chairman if other communities have done similar things. Good. We will try to see the chairman on Tuesday.